Hi, my name is Taylor DIOR from Urban Synergy, and today I want to have a look at what the lasting legacy from the London Olympic Games will be for young people, not just in the capital but across the country. Joining me here in the studio are YUAN CHEN and Ian McKinnon from the London Legacy Development Corporation. So YUAN, what was your experience like as a member of the youth panel for the London Olympic Games?
Well, first bit about the youth panel. We are the Legacy Youth Panel run by the London Legacy Development Corporation, and over the past 4 years we've been involved in helping to plan and inspire what will happen to the Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park after the Games. So the lead up to the actual 2012 Games was really exciting because not only could we see what will happen during the Games, but also thinking about the long-term lasting legacy of the Games. So we've been involved in consulting with different community groups and locals living in the host boroughs, and also getting involved and trying to inspire a generation as well about the legacy and what we can do and what young people can get involved in after the Games.
Yeah, I think that beautifully ties in with the whole, as you said, inspire a generation theme. So what were your specific responsibilities?
Well, I represent Newham, which is one of the 6 host boroughs, and my responsibility is not only to get involved with these community consultations and also feed back to the Legacy Corporation about what young people want to see in the park in the future. It's also about letting other young people know. For instance, every summer or every winter we'll host a free youth event where we share our knowledge with local young people and invite different schools to attend as well, and that's also where we recruit our new members from, and to encourage other young people to get involved with the youth panel. So
it's not just about 2012, we're just going to carry this on.
Yeah, it's about the 10-15 years afterwards.
I think that is really, really remarkable. So this is a question for both you and Ian. I don't know about you guys, but during the Olympic ceremony, Twitter was going crazy, trending topics, like hashtags everywhere. And it was just remarkable seeing how something like sports could be so influential. And normally in this generation, you see like MTV and SBTV. Do you think sports has the potential to reach to the mass?
I think so, yeah. I mean, I think we've seen through the course of the Olympics, and I'm sure we will see through the Paralympics, the appetite that the country has for sport. And I think that, as you say, that transcends through all the way people are now communicating, which is obviously through social media, things like Twitter and Facebook, and I think that will continue. In terms of other uses of technology on the park, certainly I know that in Legacy, when we start to look at things, for example, signage and wayfinding in the park, we will be looking at incorporating technology into that. And possibly even looking at developing things like an app, for example, that will direct you around the park, give you some more information on the park. And I think that as our events programme develops for the park and Legacy, I think that we'll obviously be using social media to communicate how these events are coming together and give information about when they are and all the details and things.
Definitely. And in the youth group as well, we've been quite active on Facebook and also on Twitter. So we're just trying to make sure that everyone has a chance to get involved and also get the news out, that any news events going, everyone can get involved as well. It's about bringing the park to the people.
I really like that, bringing the park to the people. I've got a quote from london2012.co.uk, and it said 80% of UK schools are now a member of the London 2012 education programme Get Set. As people who are heavily involved in the Olympics, how does that make you feel? What do you think will become of Team GB in the future?
Well, I think that the almost unexpected success of Team GB, certainly during the Olympics, and hopefully we'll see again in the Paralympics, I think it can only inspire people to get involved in sport, and so hopefully we'll see the impact of that. I think the gold haul that Team GB had was, really you could see it lift the nation, and I think that was partly the reason that the nation got so involved, and I think we saw the build of enthusiasm and excitement around the Games, and that's certainly something that we hope we'll be able to capitalise on. Obviously the legacy of the park, we have world-class venues existing on the park that will be used in Legacy and will be used by not just the elite in sport but also by the local community, and so by combining sport elite and community users, I think we hope that there'll be an easier transition for local people to get involved in elite sport in the future. Yeah.
And definitely considering how many great role models we have from Team GB this year. You know, not only are they very successful, but they're getting involved in inspiring young people, going to schools and letting people know how they can get involved with sport, but not necessarily just elite sport, just trying out something new in their local community. For instance, during the Olympics, me and my friends got involved in more badminton because we thought this was a great opportunity to actually get set and go. And also with the Olympic Park, we've got so many great sporting facilities open, and they will be at affordable local sports centre prices. So I think that's a great opportunity for anyone to try out a new sport and also to carry on training themselves as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think given what's happened to Great Britain in the year, like the Queen's Jubilee and everything, I think the Olympics just topped it off now. It's all about being like united together as a nation and doing more. So yeah, I definitely agree. What do you think made this particular Olympics so special? Like, I don't know about you guys, but I thought this one differed from like the Beijing Olympics. There was this different kind of electricity and buzz, or maybe it's just in our city. What do you guys think?
Well, for me, I was also a games maker during the games, and I think a big part of what made these games so special and so united was the thousands and thousands of volunteers that got involved, and also it's just kind of the community spirit that everyone grouped together to try and make these games the most sustainable and most accessible games possible. And especially the coverage for the Paralympics. With previous Olympic Games, I didn't really know what was happening with Paralympic sport. And with the London 2012 Games, you know, there's so much coverage about sporting stories of all these superhuman athletes who are doing amazing things in the world of Paralympic sport, and also letting us know what kind of things happen in the sports, like goalball and also wheelchair tennis.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that if we can carry forward, I'm sure that we will, the level of excitement and enthusiasm that we saw in the games through into the Paralympics, I think it's going to be an exciting week and a half. I think, and it's great, the interest, the fact that it's almost sold out, the Paralympics, I think is great, and I think that's something that London has achieved, and I think it's done particularly well. And as YUAN says, I think it's going to bring great exposure to a lot of disability sports that otherwise maybe wouldn't have had that level of exposure. As you say, things like wheelchair tennis, wheelchair basketball, goalball, bocce, all these sports. I think people are going to, as with the Olympics, have their eyes open to new sports, and the hope is that disabled people at home watching will feel inspired and get involved and seek out local clubs and groups that they can join.
And especially in the long term as well. We know that this park won't just be a white elephant in the middle of Stratford. It's going to be kind of diffuse into the community and be really open so that anyone in London and also across the UK can get involved. And also it's a huge regeneration project, so definitely legacy and what the Olympics will help inspire in the future. There's a lot of potential there, and that's really special.
Especially the fact that the park is in Hackney of all places, that hasn't had the best reputation, but I think it's going to be remarkable, and I can't wait to see what comes of Team GB in the future. Speaking of the future, I think we can all agree that the London Olympics was hugely successful. How do you think Rio 2016 is going to be? What do you think it's going to be like for that?
I think with every Olympics, there's always something really special about each one. For London, it's just really vibrant, really different, and just really sustainable as well, which hasn't always been the focus of the Olympic Games. And for Rio, I think there's a lot of potential to see something fantastic as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think Rio will I'm sure that they will host a spectacular games. I'm sure they will do it well. But I think London. I think it's been an unprecedented success in London, particularly bringing the Paralympics to the fore as well. The fact that the games were planned from the beginning with legacy in mind. Legacy was a big part of the bid to win the games, and that's the work that we are doing now at the Legacy Corporation and carrying that forward. And I think also that, as we've said, the fact that the Olympics and the Paralympics were were designed and looked at on an equal footing from the off, and the park and the venues were designed for both Olympic and Paralympic sport, and that's something that London did particularly well. But hopefully Rio will learn from the positive things and the great things that London did, and I'm sure they'll host a spectacular Games.
Thank you, Ian and YUAN, for joining us in the studio. My name is Taylor DIOR from Urban Synergy, inspiring a generation. Thank you for watching.